Hello everyone, welcome to the Rokani Media Football. Morgan Rogers to Arsenal talks begin. Guys, in here. Guys, we've seen very many teams interested in this guy, known as Morgan Rogers, but the team known as Arsenal had not gone ahead to raise up their hand. And I think this is, the first video that I'm doing that is linking Morgan Rogers to a club known as Arsenal. I think I last did this video around March this year, but as we speak right now, it is official that Arsenal is interested in signing Morgan Rogers, and the person who is at the helm of this, pushing to obviously get in this player, obviously it is like something that will happen anytime from now. Good morning Africa, good morning Europe, good morning USA, good morning North America, South America, and very many others, Asia too, because we do have people from Asia who are really big viewers of this channel. Now, from there, we obviously gonna be discussing another story concerning Andy Robertson from Liverpool to Tottenham Hotspur, and then James Milner retiring from football. So those are the three topics that you're obviously going to be discussing early morning, and then later we will obviously come up and obviously see what the second story of the day will be here onto the Rokani Media Football. But I humbly beg you to go ahead and really subscribe to this channel. How do you subscribe? Go into the lower left bottom corner, smash the black button that has the word subscribe. After subscribing, hit the notification bell. That will enable you to get notified every time we upload a video onto this channel of ours in here. So it is really great to obviously have you all here, and let's do the needful and really make your presence valuable and very, 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 very important. Now, we obviously head to Alex Crook. Manchester United are ready to step up their interest in Morgan Rogers. TalkSport understands Mikel Arteta is personally leading the drive, with preliminary talks with his advisors believed to have already taken place. Aston Villa value Morgan Rogers at a minimum of 80 million euros. Now, Arsenal are ready to take or to step up their interest in Morgan Rogers. So, they are now ready to make things happen. That's what they are telling us. And they're 100% ready to see to it that they go in for the big fish of the league that almost every team is interested in. Now, Arteta is personally leading the drive. Have you heard that? Arteta is personally leading the drive. Now, Morgan Rogers is a very good player. That is it. His age is really very attractive. 23 years of age, turning 24 years of age on the 24th of July. He will be in his prime. Having gone ahead to coming through from Middlesbrough in the January transfer window of 2023-2024, he has gone ahead to play 2 full seasons and 1 half season at Aston Villa. Right. Now, last season, he played 37 games, 10 goals and 6 assists in the Premier League. UEFA Europa League, 15 matches, 3 goals and 5 assists. That is a player known as Morgan Rogers for you. EFL Cup, no goal in there for you. And in the Champions League where he played the other time, that is 2024-2025, where they were knocked out by PSG, he played 12 games, 4 goals and 2 assists. That is Morgan Rogers for you. But one of the reasons as to why Morgan Rogers is needed at Arsenal and by Mikel Arteta is Morgan Rogers is a player who is multi-dimensional. How? He can play as a number 8, he can play as a number 10, he can play as a right forward, he can play as a left forward, and he can also play as a false number 9. And Arteta, after losing the Champions League final, I think he's now ready to bring in firebrand players in there for you that can create individual moments. Because when you look at the game of PSG, it was an individual moment of Kai Havertz that put Arsenal ahead, and an individual moment of Kivisha Kvaratskhelia that went ahead to put the game to level terms when they really got a penalty. Now, these players like Morgan Rogers are really very important. That is it. Very, very important, because he's a player who can single-handedly hold that ball and take off players and really score a goal. He's a player that can shoot from anywhere. You understand? So, he is a complete player. And I think he's a complete article. Aston Villa has been playing for places that are played for by teams that really have big ambitions. For example, he led Aston Villa to qualify for the Champions League, right? And I think that was the season of 2023-2024, such that in the season of 2024-2025, they played in the Champions League, right? Then, last season, they never went to the Champions League, and guess what the manager did? They went ahead to obviously do the needful, and this time round, they've finished, I think, 4th on the Premier League table, and they've gone ahead to win the UEFA Europa League. And speaking of winning the UEFA Europa League, he knows what winning means. That is it. He knows what winning means at the club of Aston Villa. So, Arsenal is bringing in a winner who is ready to go. And Arsenal are getting in a homegrown player who is really talented. You know, way back, it was very hard to find English players that are really talented. Their talent was really minimal. You talk of Paul Scholes, you talk of Steven Gerrard, you talk of Andy Cole, you know, it was hard, you know, Mark Manaman, you understand? So, it was hard to get talented English players, but right now, there are very many, you know, they are available in abundance. And Morgan Rogers looks like he's the player that everyone is looking at. Now, he's also a Premier League proven player. That speaks volumes. He's a Premier League proven player. And for that, I tell you, he is really, really special. That puts him in a different ilk altogether for what he's vying for as a player. I tell you, Morgan Rogers is a hot cake. And it's not only Arsenal that are interested in him. There are very many teams. Manchester United, remember Michael Carrick was with him at Middlesbrough, and he's one of those that really turned him into a monster that he has gone ahead to turn into. So, Carrick needs him. Man City needs him. Chelsea are looking at him. PSG are looking at him. You know, very many teams are really looking at Morgan Rogers. But Arsenal have obviously held preliminary talks to see to it that they obviously convince the player to come to their side. Now, Arteta and Unai Emery all come from Spain. And if you are Unai Emery and you are to advise this guy, which team would you direct him to? 100% let you know that there are two teams I would send him to. One is Arsenal, two is Manchester United. Arsenal is now the best team in the Premier League and one of the best teams in the world. It's always good to send a player like Morgan Rogers to a team that is ready to go. You understand? Or that is already going. Not to send him to a team like Man City, where they're going to have to change the manager. You don't know what's going to happen. At Chelsea, you know, nothing's going to happen. Why am I speaking of Man United? It's because Manchester United, right? Manchester United is one of those clubs that has a manager who knows the capabilities of this player. You understand? Because he managed him at Middlesbrough, and I think by the time they obviously let him go, was Michael Carrick still the manager? But Carrick went ahead to obviously manage Morgan Rogers, and he turned him into a very, very, very deadly player. That's where the likes of Aston Villa saw him, and they went ahead to obviously sign him. So, Morgan Rogers is one of those players that is a hot cake and is going to be a hot cake in this summer transfer window. But the amount of money they've gone ahead to obviously put on him is really very ridiculous. But if you've been following up onto English players, I think £80 million for Morgan Rogers is even little, because Declan Rice came in through for 105. But I wonder why Aston Villa is even calling in for this. Because I believe even if they say £100 million, they can obviously get that money in there for you. And when he was crossing from Middlesbrough to a team known as Aston Villa, they signed him for £16 million. Sorry, they signed him for £80 million, which rose to 16 with preference-rated add-ons. The specific details of that transfer were as follows. Initial transfer fee was 8, potential maximum fee to £16 million, sell-on clauses. Middlesbrough negotiated a 25 sell-on clause, meaning his former club Man City also benefited financially from the move. Obviously, there was a sell-on clause because this player was for Man City. You get? So, right now, I don't know whether Middlesbrough still has a sell-on clause, but obviously the player is came in through for £16 million. And if they ever sell him for £80 million, they are making a profit north of £60 million as a team of Middlesbrough. And as a team of Aston Villa, I just like how they do business. When you see how they bought in Duran from the MLS, at a minimum fee, and they sold him for like £65 million to the Saudi Pro League, they are making good money. I tell you, they are making good money, and I'm loving what exactly they are doing as a team of Aston Villa. So, they do have financial problems, and they have to sell. That's a given. But they want £80 million. And for Arsenal, £80 million has become a regular fee for any good player. And we expect a bidding war to happen, because Michael Carrick on the side of Man United is pushing for United, obviously getting Morgan Rogers. And also Mikel Arteta is pushing to see to it that he gets in Morgan Rogers. But let's ask ourselves, where will Morgan Rogers play at the club of Arsenal? Where will he play? Because when you look at Arsenal, in the number 10 position, they do have Martin Odegaard and Ebelechi Eze. And he can play as a left forward. Unless you are telling me that Arsenal is going to offload Martinelli and maybe keep Leandro Trossard. To see to it that Trossard and Morgan Rogers really fight for that position. When you look at the lineup of Aston Villa, most of the games that he has gone ahead to play, right? Morgan Rogers has obviously gone ahead to obviously be featured. In the game they played against Man City, in the lineups, he was out, right? The game they played against this team, Freiburg, in the final. Let me see where he was. He was played as a number 10, right? Now, let's look at another game where they beat Liverpool by 4-2. Where was he played? He was played as a number 10, meaning that most of the games at Aston Villa, he has been played as a number 10, So, but he can drift off the left and obviously look very, 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 very lovely, I tell you. So, when they were beating, when they are losing to Tottenham Hotspur, he was played as a left forward. You understand? That is Morgan Rogers for you. So, a lot has to be put in place to obviously see where exactly they are going to be playing him. When they are knocking out Nottingham Forest out of the UEFA Europa League, I think the semi-final, he was played as a centre forward. The system was 4-4-2. He was played alongside Ollie Watkins. So that really speaks volumes. Onto what? Onto what the side of Arsenal really wants for this player. A left forward, central attacking midfielder, right forward. But it sends a message that now the manager knows the quality of players he needs to be having at his team. And this guy ticks all the boxes for that. I'm talking about Morgan Rogers in there for you. So he's really quite a talent, and he's going to be coming in through at the club of Arsenal to put up his expertise to see to it that all really goes on well as planned for the side of Arsenal. And I tell you, nothing will stop him from really achieving what he wants at Arsenal, and he'll be a very big piece of addition to the club of Arsenal, especially in the forward side. Remember, they want to bring in a left forward, they want to bring in a centre forward, a midfielder, and then a right back. So, minimum of 5 signings. All 4 signings are what Arsenal will be looking at. And this time round, I think they are going in for top-class players. Unless otherwise, they find out a player in the caliber of Mosquera. And he's really worth it to obviously come in through and really make things happen or make it rain when it comes to the game. Now, Jacobs Ben has come out and told us the following about this deal. He has told us that Arsenal are a serious contender for Morgan Rogers. Villa value Rogers £80 million plus. The sale this summer is expected, given it suits all the parties. However, Rogers isn't agitating to leave and is calm if his future is not resolved until the World Cup. So, he's not in panic to leave. Why? He knows to it that he can get the England national team spot, even when he's at Aston Villa. So, that's why he's calm. And that shows you how humble and disciplined he is, because he knows to it that he's going to be playing the Champions League next season. So even if he stays at Villa, that won't be bad. And next season, by the time it ends, he'll be 25 years of age. And clubs that want him will obviously go ahead and really come for him. That is Morgan Rogers for you. So he's like, I'm calm. But if his future is not resolved until after the World Cup, so he's okay and he's not in the rush that I'm going to the World Cup. I want to go to the World Cup knowing where I'm obviously going to be playing next. He's like, relax and float. Let me go to the World Cup. Maybe my showcase or exhibition at the World Cup will open up doors for me at different other clubs in there for you. That is Morgan Rogers for you. Then he said, however, Aston Villa are prepared to sell before the tournament for the right offer. So, Aston Villa want to sell before the World Cup starts. So, why do they want to sell before the World Cup starts? The reason is, he's the only hot asset they do have that can raise them money to obviously bail them out of the financial problems they're really having. So, what does that mean? It means that if they don't sell, and he goes to the World Cup and really gets an injury, then they'll obviously have to keep him. And players come from injuries and things don't obviously go on well as planned. So, as it stands, the club of Aston Villa want to sell before the World Cup starts. And Arteta, from the Champions League final into what we call the trophy parade, he's lighting up a transfer of Morgan Rogers to the club known as Arsenal. So, I don't know what your thoughts are about this deal, as you Arsenal fans all over the world, but I think he is a perfect signing for you guys because he ticks all the boxes for all the players you want to be having in your squad. And I know by the end of the summer transfer window that is opening up on the 15th of June, Morgan Rogers won't be a player of Aston Villa because very many suitors are really raising up their hands to really get this talented English boy known as Morgan Rogers. But again, you have to give kudos to the academy of Man City because he came in through from the academy of Manchester City. That is it. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. That's all about Morgan Rogers. And let's head to another story. And it's all about Tottenham Hotspur getting in a player from Liverpool. So, Fabrizio Romano giving us a here we go of this guy. Tottenham reached verbal agreement to sign Andy Robertson. Here we go. Pact expected to be respected and deal to be signed soon despite Juventus' proposal to try to hijack the deal. Robertson wanted by Tottenham Hotspur last January, and again now with De Zerbi, it's happening. So, De Zerbi is trying to add players of experience to his side. You understand? Now, he's going in for Andy Robertson. Good player, good left back, experienced, and I tell you, he's one of those who has a very good final ball into the 18-yard box area of the opponent. And for whoever is obviously going to be playing Spurs, you have to note this because this guy is not a joke. That is it. He's not a joke, you know. And for the years I've gone ahead to see him do his thing at Liverpool, he has been one of the best left backs in the league. Though Liverpool don't think that his services matter anymore. That's why they went in for Korkezi and they threw him under the bus. And he really got in minimum minutes at Liverpool, you know. But he's leaving to obviously go to Tottenham Hotspur where there is Udogie. Udogie is a very good left back, you understand. But, you know, every manager has his tastes and preferences. He might not be a cup of tea for De Zerbi, you know, and he was a cup of tea for Ange Postecoglou. And by the way, under Ange Postecoglou, Udogie was one of the best left backs in the league. But right now, he's injury prone, and maybe the manager is like, I need a serious defender to come in through and obviously play at the left back for the side of Spurs. And I just can't wait to see how the new face of Spurs will be, because they want to keep Paulinho in that midfield, you know, and they're looking out to get in more players. Senasi has already signed for Tottenham Hotspur, and De Zerbi is going in this early. I know why he's doing all this. He wants to go to the preseason when they are ready, when they already have all the players they really need. When you look at Tottenham Hotspur, right, and their preseason, preseason fixtures, obviously, they are as follows. Their first preseason game will happen on the 26th of July, where they'll play Auckland at the Go Media Stadium in Auckland, New Zealand. Then, on the 29th of July, they'll play Sydney at the Arians Stadium in Sydney, Australia. Then, on the 1st of August, they'll obviously come in through and play Chelsea at the Aka Stadium in Sydney. Is this going to be their last game? Are these going to be the only games they're obviously going to be playing? Because I believe that they should be playing more as the Premier League is starting on the 22nd. Not so? So, the Premier League is starting on the 22nd. So, let me check here and see whether there are other fixtures. All right. There are other fixtures, right? Aston Villa will play Bayern Munich at the in Hong Kong, 7th August. 7th August. And I think they have to play one more game because the Premier League starts on the Sunderland, Tottenham, obviously. So, those are the 4 games so far. Confirmed, you never know. One more game will obviously be shown up. But De Zerbi is trying to see to it that he really gets these deals done, such that he is with the core of his team at the beginning of the preseason, such that he really instills his style of play into them. And I tell you, he's going to bring back the tiki-taka at the Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. And they are going to compete because this is the very first time De Zerbi is working with a club that can really spend huge amount of money. I tell you, Spurs can go ahead and really spend close to 300 million pounds. They can. You know, when you look at the players they've been buying expensively. Xavi Simons, you know, they went ahead to bring in Solanke, Kudus. They wanted to bring in Eze for like 70 million pounds. So it's a side that has always gone ahead to obviously buy players expensively, and yet they've always had a budget, and now he's swimming in money. Now, let's go to the last story of this opening video of the day, coming in through from James Milner. And Jacobs Ben told us that James Milner has retired after 24 seasons in the Premier League. No one has ever made more appearances than him. Obviously, he's right. James Milner, you know, for me, I first saw him at Newcastle, right? And we've been told that. So he has come up and posted and said, I've been fortunate enough to experience some unforgettable moments, from fighting for survival to winning trophies, playing in Europe and representing my country at 2 European Championships and 2 World Cups. But more than anything, it's the people and friendships I've made throughout the game that I'll cherish forever. So he has resigned and hung up his boots. Now, I first saw him at Newcastle way back in 2000 and was it 2004? Yeah, that's when I saw him, and was playing as a left winger, right? And that's where a team known as Man City bought him, and I think that's when he went ahead to win his first Premier League at Man City. When Pep came in through, he threw him under the bus and he joined Liverpool. At Liverpool, he went ahead to win what we call the Premier League and the Champions League. I think from there, did he go to Aston Villa? Then he went to Brighton. So, he has been a man who has really put out a very huge shift. And I just love whatever he has gone ahead to do for the beautiful game of football. Him, as James Milner, not all that talented, but I really liked it every time he went ahead and obviously be a leader. You know, he put everything out for his team, you know, and he fought hard to see to it that he never at any one point be the person responsible for his team to lose. He put out a very huge shift. And these are the teams he played for. 2002 to 2004, he was at Leeds, and I was right. He went on loan, Swindon Town, 2003. Then 2004, Newcastle brought him in, and he was there until 2008, right? Then they loaned him to Aston Villa, 2005, 2006. Then Aston Villa signed him on a permanent, 2008, 2010. Then Man City bought him in 2010, and he left in 2015, meaning that he lifted 2 Premier League trophies. Then he went at Liverpool in 2015, and he was there for 8 years, and he really won 2 Premier League trophies. Were they 2? I think 1 Premier League trophy, right? And a Champions League in there for you. Then from 2023 to 2026, he was at Brighton, Albion, and that's where he has been, and that's where he has gone ahead to decide to hang his boots at the age of 40. Right. He's 40 years of age, and he turned 40 in January. And what a career he has been having for himself and everyone who has been watching him through. So guys, thank you very much for watching through. Rokani David is my name. Your thoughts on Morgan Rogers to Arsenal talks begin are welcome in the comment section below. Arteta leading the talks on Arteta and Michael Carrick, who will win this race. Then, what do you make about Robertson to Spurs? Here we go. And James Milner hanging up his boots. Rokani David is my name. Thank you for watching in through, guys. I love you. And just make it a point that you don't hesitate to come in through and obviously watch us always, because we are the source. I tell you, we are the source. We bring in content that you guys always love, and I just love it when you guys come in here and really support us hugely. But continue to support us to see to it that we break the dreadlock of 30,000 subscribers, and we're on that journey because we've already gone ahead to hit 20. We've already gone ahead to hit 29,000 subscribers, and we are soon hitting 29,100. So please do the needful. It's a 30-minute video that I've gone ahead to record. It has premiered. You guys have gone ahead to love it, and I know the comment section is buzzing. And opening video of the day, big one, long one. You know how we do it here onto our beautiful channel. So please don't hesitate to share your view and thoughts about the 3 stories that we've gone ahead to break down here with us, right? Rock and David will be back in a space of like 2-3 hours to obviously discuss more news and information about your faves that you're looking at in here. But the summer transfer window opens on the 15th World Cup, 11th World Cup squads have been named, and hope you've gone ahead to see them. I'm out.